Wow. Over a decade that took. Over a decade. Let's look into Avatar: The Way of Water.
Come on, show the movie!
Hey! Down in front!
Nine!
So Avatar: The Way of Water is the highly anticipated sequel to the original Avatar. It's been over a decade now. We're following Jake Sully and Neytiri back on the world of Pandora. Pretty much they got a family now, but also still shenanigans are ensuing thanks to the Sky People, aka the humans. Now, first of all, I don't really want to spoil too much of this movie on account of that I just want everyone to actually go and see this movie in the cinemas and experience it for yourself. But here's the things that I will say in this movie. First of all, I gotta tell you, like, this is an improvement on special effects compared to the original. Like, honestly, like, there are a lot of moments in this movie where there's just so much flawness, you know, like, just so much, you know, just upgrades to the special effects in this movie compared to the original. And like, I recently watched the original or bits of the original as well, just to get comparisons from the new one, like after I've watched it. And honestly, like, yeah, it just looks amazing, this movie. Like, there have been some amazing movies that have come out with really great CGI, and there are obviously other movies where a lot of the CGI can be questionable, but honestly, this isn't one of those movies. Like, this is a movie where the CGI is just absolutely improved on compared to the original and compared to other movies that have recently come out. And honestly, this is definitely the best visual effects I have seen in a movie this year. Like, guarantee you. Like, there is just so many things that are just flawless in this movie. Like, first of all, like the hair, you know, the way that they swim in the water, you know, just some of the visual aesthetics of when you see them in like sunlight or during the day against fire, and, you know, a bunch of other elements involved in this movie. Like, honestly, like, it's just an amazing viewing experience of this movie. And I gotta tell you, like, if CGI was like this in certain Marvel movies that have been recently coming out, honestly, I wouldn't be complaining about the CGI in Marvel movies, because honestly, this movie just looks absolutely amazing. Now, first of all, I want to just briefly mention about Neytiri. Neytiri isn't really in this movie much, played by Zoe Saldana. Now, she's pretty much on the, sort of like on the bit of the sides in this movie, or like a bit in the background, but she does become a major player in certain scenes, which is great. Also, Sam Worthington as Jake Sully in this movie as well. This is a really good performance by Sam Worthington as Jake Sully again. Honestly, like, him being an avatar now in this movie, especially as well, this movie like sets up after the previous movie. I think it's like set like a year after the events of the first movie, and honestly, just seeing Sam Worthington back in the role of Jake Sully, this is definitely a interesting, you know, sort of like an interesting story with Jake Sully, because in this movie now, and it's shown in the trailers as well, like, he's pretty much a dad now. You know, he's pretty much got a family in this tribe now, in that he's pretty much welcomed into. And yeah, this is a really good character turn for this character, because I didn't really care too much about the first Avatar. Like, I honestly felt like the first Avatar was like the only movie that was available to watch at the time when it was released, and honestly, like, word of mouth, you know, gained its popularity. But I didn't really like the character of Jake Sully in that movie, but I like him in this movie. And honestly, props to Sam Worthington for making a great performance out of this movie. Now, also with this movie, like, this is the thing about watching blockbusters like this. I feel like the best experience to watch this movie is at the cinemas itself, because especially with new cinemas releasing things like Extreme Screen or IMAX, you know, this is a type of movie that you need to watch at the actual cinemas to watch. Like, you don't want to be waiting until, you know, it comes out on Blu-ray or it comes out on streaming or 4K to watch it in your living room. No, like, I feel like this is a movie that you need to get popcorn and drinks, and you need to sit down in the fancy recliner chairs and watch a really visually stunning movie in this. And that's the thing that's great about the improvement of special effects in this movie as well, because there are just elements in this movie where, you know, it just looks absolutely amazing and beautiful. And just watching, you know, this is a perfect example of a movie where if you have the time and have the patience to let the visual effects workers, you know, do their magic to be able to produce such a beautiful looking movie, this is the results. And That's something that I really don't like when it comes to like big budget movies nowadays, where it just seems like, you know, when you get things like a new Marvel movie or a DC movie, you know, like, or somebody's trying to build up a universe, like, you want to have the time and the patience to just make everything look flawless and amazing. And I get that there's a deadline in that, but honestly, I feel like losing a couple of months to just make sure the special effects are just that enough crisper, you know, to make it look better, honestly doesn't hurt. And with Avatar, this one, like, James Cameron obviously wanted this movie to look absolutely flawless and stunning, because if he's going to make a sequel to Avatar, he wants it to look amazing. And this movie is just so beautiful to look at. Also, another thing that's really intrigued me with this movie as well is that there's just added lore into this universe that James Cameron has made. Like, obviously there's other different parts of Pandora that the characters are visiting, which we never really seen before, but I like that idea of, you know, these characters just exploring Pandora, and there's like other things, you know, like other tribes and, you know, other creatures and also just other worlds to explore. And it's amazing to see that type of building upon a universe. Like, because it's not like a sequel that just sort of retracts back from like the previous movie and tries to replicate things that made the previous movie better. No, like, it's actually like building upon a universe that can be explored and also can be, you know, like, expanded upon. And I'm really interested in this, you know, type of world building in the next couple of movies that are meant to be coming out. Also, another thing that I do like in this movie is that there are added elements of different types of tech and different types of science and technology that's just building upon from the previous movie as well. Like, there's new added reasons as to why, you know, this is happening, or why, oh, that person's doing this, or hang on, how did they get there? Like, it is like pretty much building upon it, and it is a good explanation on most of those things. And I'm honestly on board with it, and it's nothing like sort of like a Deus Ex Machina, or it's not like some kind of thing that needs to be explained for the plot to move forward, because this is just something that you can really believe that, okay, that would be invented in this type of world and in this type of future. And that's something that I really like in sequels that develop stuff like that. Now, overall with this movie, I feel like it is a really good sequel. It is a big improvement on the original movie as well. I feel like it's great to see some of the cast return. There's a couple of familiar faces as well, and also there's a couple of new surprises that happened in this movie that help build upon this universe. And overall with this movie, I do feel like that it is worthy enough to buy on Blu-ray and 4K, but also you need to watch it in the cinemas. So what do you guys think of Avatar: The Way of Water? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow my socials up here. And as always, as I say at the end of these videos, do not forget the popcorn.